Hey guys, in this video I'm going to go over card rarity and what that means in terms of getting new cards and crafting cards and milling cards. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on the Cards tab and then go into my collection. We'll load the collection up, and you can see all the cards I currently have in my collection here. And there's various filters you can use to drill down and find the cards you want to. I'll click on Filters here so I can describe card rarity. You'll see over on the side filters here, it lists the 4 different types of card rarity. There are common cards. I'll click on that. All common cards are bronze cards. There are rare cards. Rare cards are also all bronze cards, except they're ones that are less common to get in packs. Then there are epic cards. Currently, all the epic cards in the game are silver cards, so you can think of epic and silver as being synonymous at this point. And then there's legendary cards. Legendary cards are synonymous with gold cards. So in your card collection, you can use the scraps you've earned to craft new cards. I'll go to Northern Realms and craft a new card because they're the faction that I play the most. So you can see my Northern Realms collection here. The cards that are grayed out are cards I don't currently own. I'm going to maybe filter my cards by color. There's a few silver cards I don't own yet. So we'll see here. Here's this card Odrin. He's a silver Northern Realms unit I don't currently own. When I hover over him, you can see the various costs related to making the card. It'll cost me 200 scraps if I want to create Odrin, and I'll get 50 scraps if I mill him. I can't mill him right now because I don't actually own him, but if you do own a card, you can mill them, which means you destroy them, and then you get whatever the mill value is. So I'll start here by clicking on Odrin so I can craft him. It'll pull up this little screen, and then you can either click Craft, Mill, or Transmute. Transmute is what you click when you want to use your meteorite powder to turn a normal card into the premium version. We'll try that out later in this video. But for now, let's click Craft and make Odrin. It'll say, am I sure I want to spend my scraps? I'll say yes. And then Odrin appears, and he'll be added to my collection. So he's no longer grayed out. So from now on, I'll have access to Odrin to use in any of my Northern Realms decks. I'll close the filters for now, and now we'll go over milling. Card milling is just destroying a card to get some scrap you can use to make other cards. In general, it's a good idea not to mill too many of your cards when you're first starting out, since you won't necessarily know exactly what you're going to want to be playing in terms of decks. I think it's probably a good decision to never mill any cards unless you have duplicates of them. And they actually provide a little auto milling function in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen here. My head is kind of covering it up. I can maybe move aside. You'll see I have 264 spare cards. So if I click the Auto Mill button, I'll gain a bunch of scraps just based on the duplicate cards that I have. But I tend not to like to use auto milling because you can be a little more exact when you mill cards yourself. So let's go find a card to mill and show how that works. Well, you'll see here in my silver card list, it says I have 2 copies of this card, Alzur's Double Cross. It's a silver card that will get me 50 scraps if I mill it. There's no particular reason I need to hold on to my extra copy of Alzur's Double Cross. Perhaps I'd want the extra copy if I want to upgrade it to premium and have both copies available. But I don't really care too much about that, so let's try milling this card. I click on the card, then I click Mill, plus 50. Am I sure I want to mill Alzur's Double Cross? I'll click Yes, and then I'll gain 50 scrap in my scrap hoard here, and that gives me more resources I can put toward making other cards that I maybe don't own yet, or don't have so many duplicates of. Now the last thing we'll do is use some ore to craft a premium card. Let's go back to my Northern Realms collection, and let's find one of the cards I like to use the most and upgrade it with some of my meteorite powder. Let's filter golds because it's fun to make gold premiums. They cost the most, but they're usually have the coolest premium art. And you can see here I actually have a duplicate of Kira Metz, but she's one of my favorite cards to play. So I'm going to upgrade one of these copies of Kira Metz into the premium. Then I'll have both the premium version and the normal version I can choose from when I make my decks. So let's select Kira here, and I'll select Transmute. This will spend 400 powder and make the premium version. So you can see the premium version of the card has some pretty cool animation going on, and it kind of tilts from side to side while it's on the board. I'll close the preview there. It also, premium cards often when you first click on them or play them have kind of a sound effect or a quick animation that happens before they slow down into this longer term animation. So that's about all there is to say about crafting cards and upgrading to premiums for now. We've covered just about all there is to cover in terms of rewards and basic deck building. So in the next videos we'll get back into actually playing Gwent and go into some more of the game mechanics that we didn't cover in the first videos.